everybody. Welcome to Learning the Scottish Great Highland Bagpipe with me, J.D. Ingram, pipe major of the Charleston Pipe Band. This week we're going to be learning
Lesson 3, Grace Notes between like notes. Your goal in this lesson is to learn to play any single grace note between two like notes to separate those notes. We'll focus on playing a crisp and clean grace note between the two notes, and we'll try playing a few simple tunes. Your homework is to practice GDE grace note patterns and the simple tunes we introduce. Extra resources for this lesson are Sandy Jones' Beginning the Bagpipe, pages 15 to 17, or the College of Piping Tutor Part 1, page 20 to 23. The tunes we learned in Lesson 2 you might have noticed were very simplified. If you haven't been through Lesson 2, go back and check it out. When you're playing a full set of Great Highland bagpipes, the sound never stops coming out of your chanter. This means that every sound you make must be different than the last sound. If you're trying to play a half note low A and then another half note low A, it's going to keep sounding the entire time and sound like a whole note low A. To get around this, bagpipers invented a system of quick breaks in the sound called grace notes. The most common grace note is the high G grace note. This one usually occurs on the beat. If you're playing off of the beat, your next most common grace note is a D grace note, and after that, your choice would be an E grace note. In order to play a grace note, you only use one finger. You use the top finger associated with that note. So for a high G grace note, you're going to tap your top pointer finger. You'll tap your bottom pointer finger for a D grace note, and your top ring finger for an E grace note.
Alright, so a quick run through our three grace notes. If we're playing a low A and we want to play another low A, we can separate them with a G grace note. That's just using this top pointer finger. If we want to separate them with a D grace note, that's the bottom pointer finger. And an E grace note is your ring finger. And you can do these on any notes below the grace note. So a D grace note I can play on G, A, B, or C. E grace note I can go all the way up to D. G grace note I can go all the way up to F.
We'll cover the sample tunes from Lesson 2, but with grace notes added for extra clarity. Notice that this is London Bridges Falling Down, but we've made one small change as you go from bar 4 to bar 5. Instead of having a dotted quarter note and an eighth note to break up that first half of the tune and the last half of the tune, we went back to a half note and then a grace note to break up those two Fs.
Alright, so we're going to try London Bridges Falling Down again, but with one small change. We're putting a grace note at the end of bar 4. So try it with me. When you're playing, be aware of everything we learned in Lesson 1 and Lesson 2. So from your, we've got G, F, E, D, right? From E to D, that's a prime spot for a crossing noise. Make sure we don't go. Instead, D, E, F, C, no crossing noises there. C, D, E, no more crossing noises. D, E, F, and then here's our grace note. Grace note to F, G, F, E, D, E, F, C, F, D, B. Watch out for crossing noises the whole way through. Here we go. Should sound something like that.
You'll notice that this is Happy Birthday from Lesson 2, but with some small changes in bars 1, 2, and 4. The quarter notes were broken into two eighth notes to match the syllables of happy. The word happy as it occurs in the first, second, and third lines of the tune. The low A's are broken up by a D grace note and the D's are broken up by an E grace note.
All right, we're going to try Happy Birthday again, just like we did in lesson 2, except this time, as mentioned before, we're breaking up the low A's and D's for the words happy with a grace note. Keep in mind all of the stuff we talked about in lesson 1. No crossing noises. The key spots, you might see them. Happy birthday to you. E to D right there's a good spot to watch out for. There's another one from F to D. Happy birthday, happy F to D. And then at the end, happy birthday. Got 3 hand-to-hand crossings in a row. Watch out there. All right, here we go. Happy birthday. Nice and slow. Something like that.
Here's a new tune that should be very familiar. The only grace note you have to worry about is a high G grace note to break up F's or E's as you see them in the tune.
Okay, here's a new tune. It should be one you recognize, just like Happy Birthday in London Bridge. Let's start by talking through it and clapping through it like we did in lesson 2, and then we'll play it. So clapping through it, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, talking through it, we've got F, E, D. There's a crossing noise opportunity there. Watch out for that. Back to E, another one. F, grace note back to F, grace note back to F. E, grace note back to E, grace note back to E. F, grace note back to F, grace note back to F. Another grace note to F. E, D, there's your crossing noise opportunity. Watch out for that. E, another one. F, grace note, another grace note. E, another grace note. F, E, D. There's your another crossing noise opportunity. So the key things to watch out for is our crossing noises and having good grace notes. Try it on your own. See if you can figure out what the tune is. I'll give you a second. Hopefully you paused the video, figured out the tune name. We'll try it together. There you go. Mary had a little lamb. Good job, guys.
Here's another new tune that you should recognize. Again, we're only using high G grace notes to break up notes. This one is also fairly simple rhythmically with no dotted notes.
One more new tune. Let's talk and clap through it, and then we'll play it. Looking at it, we have no dotted notes, so that's nice. We've got, counting it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So we kind of just follow that same rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, over and over and over again. Talking through the notes, we've got A, E, F, E, all pretty straightforward. Make sure you have good grace notes there. Then from E you go to a D, watch out for a crossing noise. Grace note to D, C, B, A, all pretty straightforward. Keep good grace notes. E, D, there's another crossing noise opportunity. C, B, good grace notes throughout. E, that's potentially crossing noise, but not usually people do pretty well at that one. Then to D, there's a big crossing noise spot. Watch out for that. C, B, A, E, F, E, D. There's that E to D crossing again. C, B, A. All right, let's try it out. Good grace notes, no crossing noises. You try it, pause the video, try it out first, see if you can figure out what the tune is. I'll give you a second. There's your second. Okay, here we go. Some of you might have said Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Some of you might have said the alphabet song. You're both right. It took me until I was well into my 20s before I realized that was the same tune. Good job learning your music so far, guys.
Thanks for joining me for this lesson. Some final thoughts for you. Practice making your grace notes, your G grace notes, your D grace notes, and your E grace notes by strengthening those fingers to make nice, crisp little chirping sounds. Go ahead and read through and practice what you see written in your extra materials, either Beginning the Bagpipe by Sandy Jones, pages 15 to 17, or The College of Piping Tutor, Part 1, pages 20 to 23.